Alrighty, everybody. Good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining me here on this wonderful Friday, August 11th here at 8 o'clock. I'm Savannah Louie with Atlanta News First at the First Alert Desk, and we've got your top 5 stories for this evening, and I want to start off with an exciting story for music lovers here in the Atlanta area. Queen Bee is here. In fact, she is just about to take the stage. I'm excited. I know many folks here in Metro Atlanta are as well. We saw thousands of people out in downtown Atlanta around Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Go ahead and show you a live picture here of the Benz, which is where that concert is happening tonight. Now, again, we saw people lining up hours before doors actually opened at 6 o'clock this afternoon. We have our reporter, Chelsea Beimfor, out there right now. She's been talking with some of those folks who are so excited. They're spending a lot of money on these tickets, ranging from about $150 up to $3,700. Now, if you're interested, there are still some tickets on sale. This is night one of the Beyonce shows. There are 2 other shows, one tomorrow and one Monday at the Benz. Now, our reporter, Chelsea, spoke with, again, some folks, and I want you to listen to what this one person had to say who's about ready to go to the show tonight.
I'm actually sitting in the club section, 108C. I spent whatever price it was to take to get in that concert.
I take it that was probably expensive.
Yeah, my ticket was $12.74.
Yeah, you heard him right. $12.74. That's a lot of money there. Okay. Well, if you are in the area, just be wary. There is going to be a lot of traffic tonight. MARTA is running train and bus services. That train will shuttle between 5 Points and Mercedes-Benz, and the bus will get people from Vine City to West End. Once you get there, make sure you already have your ticket. Mercedes-Benz is not selling any at the box office, so don't even try. All right? Mercedes-Benz did also release a few listening-only tickets this morning, which are actually behind the stage, so you don't actually get to see Beyonce perform, but you can listen to her voice, and honestly, that in itself is definitely worth some money there. I don't know if it's worth the $1,200 that one person paid for those tickets, but either way, it's going to be a great night. All right, moving straight ahead here, I do have a pretty serious story I need to get to. A tough one to tell here. All right, GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigation, is currently investigating a Atlanta officer's use of force after a man in their custody died. Okay. Right now, that Atlanta family demands answers, saying that their loved one, that man who you just saw in that picture, died in the hands of a police officer. This is moments where it happened. Atlanta police say the officer attempted to take Johnny Holman into custody, but he resisted. After struggling for several minutes, the officer used his taser and, with the help of witness, put that person, you see him right there, Holman, into handcuffs. And that's when the officer realized he was unresponsive. He requested EMS to the scene. The driver was taken to the Grady Hospital, where he died. The family says Holman had a history of chronic asthma and tell police he couldn't breathe during that apprehension. So again, right now, GBI looking into what exactly happened during this incident. Whenever there is any sort of incident involving an officer, the GBI does get involved. So this sort of investigation is not necessarily unusual, but as we learn more about this developing situation, we will bring you up to speed and continue to keep you posted. All right, moving straight ahead here. Another officer-related story this time. The family also very, very upset with how things have been handled when it comes to officers. This time, though, in Clayton County. Tonight, the family of 19-year-old Eric Holmes says they still want justice. They say justice was not served after learning a grand jury decided not to indict the Clayton County police officer who shot their son to death. According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Officer Justin Stevens responded to reports of a stolen Kia, and the district attorney's office say Eric Holmes was being questioned about what happened when he was in the car and shortly after jumped in. Police video, you're looking at it right here. It shows Stevens repeatedly ordering Holmes to get out of that vehicle. The DA says Officer Stevens testified he fired his gun after Holmes refused to comply with his demands and appeared to be reaching for a gun. The 19-year-old then sped off and crashed and eventually died at a nearby hospital. Holmes' mother is devastated by that grand jury's decision not to indict, again, that Clayton County police officer. All right, guys, moving straight along here. I want to get you to a really interesting story out of Atlanta. This is from the Virginia Highlands neighborhood. A woman says she was attacked by an owl. This all happening during her morning jog here. Not the way you want to start your day, right? All right, our reporter, Zach Summers, he has the story, and I'm going to go ahead and let Zach take it from here.
I love running. I'm also training for a marathon.
Laura Blackwell runs in her Virginia Highland neighborhood several times a week, but she had quite the scare early Wednesday morning.
It felt pretty aggressive.
The avid runner was headed down Lanier Boulevard, approaching Kentucky Avenue, when she felt something hit her in the back of the head.
At first I thought it was someone trying to get me, and then when I realized it was a bird, I didn't quite know where to go or where to hide.
That bird, believed to be a barred owl, similar to this one, was now perched on a nearby light pole, staring down at Blackwell. She started running again, but the bird grabbed at her hair, pulling out her ponytail.
I don't know if it was trying to protect something or trying to get me.
Blackwell says the owl attacked her again, but this time she saw it coming, started screaming and flailing her arms to scare it off.
She did the right thing.
Nancy Island is a licensed rehabilitator at Wild Nest Bird Rehab. She says owl attacks are fairly common, though they typically happen during nesting season in February.
More than likely, it's a young owl that is establishing territory and will swoop at anything it perceives as a threat.
Island says the behavior is more of a warning maneuver. She suggests those wanting to avoid similar attacks to wear headlamps, a hat or vest with reflectors. Precautions Blackwell is now taking.
Hopefully the hat will do it, but I don't know. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, that is really scary. And that's why you don't exercise outside. I'm just kidding. Seriously though, thank goodness that woman is doing okay. And just if you're in the Virginia Highlands neighborhood, just be wary and aware of your surroundings. We do not want any more owl attacks. Painful. All right, final story for you tonight. I am sure by now you have seen those devastating images out of Hawaii of wildfires completely destroying buildings, homes, places where people have lived for years. The images are tough to look at. So here's what I want to do for you tonight. We have a pretty important story here. If you have felt it in your heart to give and to help these people who are going through so much right now, so much loss, I want you to go to atlantanewsfirst.com. This is our website. I pulled it up for you right here. And you can see our company, our parent company, Gray Television, is working with the Salvation Army to bring hope for Hawaii. We are giving back. And I want you to go find this article. It is on the very front page of our website. Again, atlantanewsfirst.com. You can see here some of the devastating images. This from Maui here in Hawaii. Hard to look at, isn't it? But what we're doing here is we are partnering with the Salvation Army to give food, shelter, hygiene products, and so much more to folks who need it in Hawaii. This is the information you need. To donate, text FIRE E-Relief. You see it right here on your screen. I've highlighted it. You're going to text that to 51555. And for everything that you donate, 100% of the gifts, they will be used to affect people who have been impacted by those fires. And again, if you want to see this article for yourself, if you want to share it with your friends or family, make them aware of what exactly we're doing here, well, just go to atlantanewsfirst.com, look for this article. It is on our front homepage, easy to find. I found it within like literally 5 seconds. Okay, you can't miss it here. So that is going to be available for you to share and to have at your fingertips. Thank you guys so much for joining me here at the First Alert desk. I'm going to say goodbye, good night to you on this Friday with a look at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where Beyonce is currently just about ready to take the stage and just about ready to take our stage. We have someone almost as cool as Beyonce. Some might say he's even cooler than Beyonce. Meteorologist Fred Campagna. Fred, how's that for an intro?
Can't do better than that. Although, I think most people would rather look at Beyonce than look at me, but you're stuck with me, so it's just the way it goes. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. Good evening to you. It is nice in most of our area this evening. It got warm today, made it up to 90 this afternoon, and now the temperatures are in the 80s. So let's take a look at what's going on here weather-wise. Here are those current temperatures. Down to 78 in Athens, and that's because a shower came through the Athens area about an hour and a half ago or so, and has since moved on to the south and east. There's not too much else happening right now. Do have a lot to tell you about, though, regarding the weekend forecast. So we're going to be quiet for the rest of tonight. If you step outside, you may notice how incredibly humid it is out there right now. The dew point is in the mid 70s. So that means our low temperature tonight is going to be it's going to be warm, likely in the low to mid 70s, probably about 75 for a low temperature in Atlanta. And we're also tracking a severe weather threat for part of Saturday. Looks like later Saturday afternoon. That's our best bet for getting some storms to come through. Let's talk about that timing here and look at some of the temperatures that we'll be dealing with this weekend, because they're going to be way up there. And with the high humidity, it's going to be tough to take at times if you can't find a way to stay cool, stay hydrated over the weekend. Night in the morning, upper 70s. So if you want to get out for a run or bike ride tomorrow morning, best to do it before about 10 a.m. After 10 a.m. starts to warm through the 80s, but it'll feel like the 90s because of the humidity. And then by mid-afternoon, it'll be low to mid 90s, but feel like 100. Watch the storms and showers coming into the picture. Now, it's not a lock that this is going to happen, but it is a pretty favorable setup with the hot and humid air in place for us to get some scattered storms. We've seen this several times so far this summer. Things should quiet down for us Sunday morning, and it looks like overall there's a lower chance of any storms flaring up on Sunday, but Sunday will be the hotter day, maybe only by a degree or two, but it'll be just as humid, and temperatures will feel about 105 or so on Sunday afternoon. 104. That's what this graphic is showing right here Sunday afternoon, and 106 on Monday. So because of that, we have a first alert in the forecast for both of those days. Those are days that are hot enough that'll probably bring heat advisories to North Georgia. Check out the humidity, though. Even as it stays high through the weekend, we are anticipating lower humidity in the middle of next week, and that is definitely some good news in our 7-day forecast. So heat wave started today as it hit 90 in Atlanta this afternoon. It's probably going to end up being a 5-day heat wave. Wednesday, it'll be close, but we'll probably break it up on Wednesday with lower humidity, nice sunshine. So Wednesday is probably the nicest of this 7-day forecast overall. I mean, the weather isn't bad this weekend. Watch for those storms later on Saturday. And then on Sunday, it's just going to feel brutally hot out there. Tuesday, about 92, a transition day as we get some showers and storms coming through, and then lower humidity into Wednesday. Late next week looks fairly quiet. Notice our rain chances non-existent right now, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we haven't had too many long, dry stretches, but we might catch at least a 3-day stretch at the end of next work week. All right, that's going to do it for me. I am going ready for our 9 o'clock newscast, which is on Peachtree TV, 10 o'clock as well on Peachtree TV, and then we're on Atlanta News First at 11 o'clock. Hope you have a great weekend and stay cool.